Morning, folks. It's me again, Shannon Fox here, Devoted Patriots Channel. We're just going to read you a little bit of highlights of all the races that we do have confirmation with. Now, let me go ahead and get into the first one. It says, most controversial Republican politician in the country wins GOP Secretary of State primary in Georgia. Y'all know who I'm talking about. It's old Brad Raffensperger. He managed to win the Republican primary last night against former Congressman and President-endorsed Representative Jody Hice. Raffensperger managed a stunning election primary with 52%. Somehow. Won't get into the hows and wins because we can't speculate on that yet, but hopefully we'll get some examination of the real numbers, if that's the way it, or of the numbers, should I just say. I just don't know what to think about that. Now, let me get into the better part of the candidacy. Now, Raffensperger was one of the only ones that I seen that I was just shaking my head at, to be honest with you, because that's not good news for the state of Georgia or selection integrity. But I did see, on a positive note, Ken Paxton, he retained his seat here in Texas. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she retained her seat in Georgia. Herschel Walker, he got the ticket as well. In Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, she was a winner, chicken dinner. She's got the gubernatorial race in her pocket. Not a problem. Got it done. Now, Vernon Jones was closing the gap between Mike Collins and Georgia District 10 primary race, but after vicious attacks from by fellow candidates in the race, basically trying to make Vernon Jones out to be a racist of all things. You believe that? Well, it looks like that race is going to be a runoff. It is that close. Now, the Bush dynasty has collapsed as far as everybody is concerned. The Bushes can't even get elected here in Texas. Ken Paxton defeats George P. Bush in a Texas Attorney General race, and I'm glad to see it. The Bushes are big in the oil industry, and they claim to be Republicans, but here in Texas, they're just not that popular anymore. People don't forget what's happened to our country, and people don't forget that the Bushes are a bunch of rhinos. And that's just, a family name may be a good thing for you, but at the same time, it may be a death sentence as well when it comes to candidacy. Let me see here. I had one more thing. Herschel Walker. Like I said, he won the GOP Senate race. It says at the time when this article come out, Kemp was leading the race. But the results were not in yet, so we'll just leave it at that. Now, I am still doing a little bit of investigation homework as to what happened over there in Davos with the World Economic Forum, the elites getting together and trying to put laws on the rest of the world with their ideas of what should go and what should not go as far as world health, economies, lockdowns, and everything. They think they have the right to delegate and decide all this stuff. So I will be bringing you a report on this stuff. Probably have to put it over on Rumble when I get it complete. Let me see here. I think that's about it as far as the selection news that I have for you at this point. But let me tell you, there's an article over here on the Gateway that is a good one, and I can't really talk too much about it. It's about that 2000 Donkeys movie. It says search warrants were served in Arizona nonprofit, and those are the folks that were doing the nasty. You know who I'm talking about. And for employees' homes in the connection with the movie. This is one of those backpack bandit selection scandals, and they have literally went in and raided somebody's home. Some of the employees' homes of at least one employee that worked for this NGO over here. One of the ones that helped with the people picking process due to their involvement. And as a matter of fact, their whole family this person's whole family has had issues with tampering. That's the best way I can put that. Now go check out this article. I don't really want to discuss it too much over here on the CommuTube, But I will leave you a link in the description below to this particular article. It is definitely interesting, and it lets you, it just explains a lot. And my question was, who is serving the warrant? From which office did these warrants come from for this Yuma County investigation to get started and to be investigated to this point? Because we know how the movie helped motivate the investigation, and the best guess is at this point, from me reading the article, that it came from none other than Attorney General Brnovich's office. Now, I can't swear to anything more than what it looks like, but we'll see. Could you believe that? It's a possibility that Brnovich is actually serving warrants. Don't hold your breath, but folks, that's possibly good news. We will see. Now, I did see that Biden is going to address the nation tonight, and about the Texas shooting, which is a horribly sad thing. And my heart goes out to everybody that has been a part of this tragedy, lost family members. These mass shootings are just a horribly sad thing for our country and for our nation. And I don't know what to say about it other than it's horrible. But I do see that the discussion of gun violence always happens after we have a mass shooting, especially a school shooting, which it needs to be discussed. It needs to be dealt with. It needs to be these people. Some of these people probably need counseling behind seeing what happened that day. But at the same time, this is not an excuse for the Democrats to use this tragedy as an opportunity to try to take guns away from people. Because whether this kid had access to assault rifles or pistols or whatever, this kid could have done just the same amount of carnage with guns, even if they changed the laws, because most guns are already in the people's hands that end up being the perpetrators. And going in and taking guns away from people at this point in time, when we have probably 1 billion guns in this country, is not feasible. To change the gun laws to say that we need to stop making assault rifles and selling assault rifles. A lot of times these assault rifles are are hunting weapons for the most part. There are always those radicals that want guns for the other reasons, not protection, but for, I guess, just for their craziness. But I don't believe that there's any law you could put in place that could prevent people that want guns from getting them. It's just a fact. So for the Democrats to jump up and scream, "This is such a tragedy," which it is, and the very next thing out of their mouth is, "We've got to start restricting. We got to start taking down the Second Amendment and restricting everybody's right to bear arms." Now, I believe in everybody having the right to bear arms to protect themselves, to hunt with, to protect their home and their family. There's a lot of situations without a gun, people would have been had no chance, and that's a fact. But the Democrats try to take every tragedy and find an opportunity out of it, and that's just pretty sickening to me. I do think all this needs to be discussed, but as far as changing the rules about the Second Amendment, I don't honestly think it would change a darn thing. I don't think it would slow down, deter, or prevent these things from happening. I think the problem is bigger than the guns. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. I think it's people with emotional problems. I think it's people like this 18-year-old kid that was still in the 10th grade that had been picked on to the point that I'm guessing he snapped. And the pressures of our economy, the pressures of our bad government, and the pressures of just the stress of the way life has been treating a lot of people lately is enough to make a lot of people want to get angry and get aggravated and act out aggressively. And because mainstream media has allowed it in certain situations, like in the BLM situations and things, and not even condemned it, I think that has made more people less less compassionate about the whole violence thing. And I think that's just sad. I think the media is doing a horrible job of trying to prevent things like this from happening. They promote these things in the wrong possible light. You just need to report the facts. This is not about gun control. This is about a 18-year-old boy that had couldn't handle life, and whether he used a weapon of mass destruction, whether he used a BB gun or whatever, this boy meant to do harm on people, and I don't know that there's anybody that could see it coming or could have prevented him from having access to weapons, and that's just the sad truth of the matter. So trying to take guns away from your everyday citizens because there's always those wackos, few and far between, that should have never had access to guns, does not make for the argument to give away our gun rights, and that is a fact. I think most people in this country keep their guns because they worry about bad government and burglars on their property and hunting as well. That is what 99.9% of the guns in the United States are here for. Protection, and hunting, and that's about it. And there's always those that have guns that have bad intentions, but that's not something that you can ever change by changing the laws about the guns. The guns are already in our system. There's millions of guns out here on these streets that will never be taken off the streets just because people are not going to relinquish them. And that's just enough about that. I just wanted to let y'all know how I felt about this whole situation. It's tragic as could be, and I feel bad for everybody involved. And I just want to say that there's nothing about a mass shooting that changing gun laws would have prevented. That's what I believe. Just my opinion, but that's what I believe. Let me go ahead and get y'all one more article here. Like I said, I'll leave you a link in the description below for the article about the movie, about the Donkeys movie, about the investigation over there in Yuma County, and about the search warrants going on. Definitely need to get into the bottom of it, figure it out. Says, well, that's enough for today, folks. I've got this video's getting kind of long. Everybody like, subscribe, and share. Drinking my coffee, getting ready to go to work. Hope everybody got a chance to get out and vote yesterday and help put some of these great patriots in those positions, governorship, senator races, and all that stuff in all 4 or 5 of those states that got to do their people picking process yesterday. Like, subscribe, and share to vote Patriots. I wish the news was a little more cheery, but seems to be some days the news is not as good as you wish it was. Over and out.